Okay, third try at this. Hello, people of Earth. I had a bad app on my phone and it was causing pop-ups. So right now I'm not in a position where I can put two pieces of video together. So it canceled that mic thing. It was voice recorder in case you have it on your phone, and I dumped it. But anyway, so this is my third introduction. So my goal today has been to make a puff pastry breakfast, like sausage, egg, and cheese, or bacon, egg, and cheese. And then also, whenever I make breakfast, I like making some home fries. However, none of the recipe, just explain this again, I sharpened my knives, I cut my finger after sharpening my knives, that's why I'm wearing a glove, don't want to bleed on or in anything, even if I'm the only one eating it. Ugh. Okay, back now. So, I usually make home fries. I like home fries. However, none of the recipes that I looked up actually had home fries included. But then I said to myself, even if you don't end up using home fries in the puff pastry, you can still make them. So I tried to make them in a new way, basically where I cut them up very, very small, just very, very small, and instead of parboiling them, I just put them right into my electric skillet here and fried them up. And the thing is, they came out okay, but it didn't taste good enough. Like, I don't want to be doing experiments on two things at the same time. So I thought, if the day I was born, the nurse came all around. Okay, if I was, if I'd made those home fries and they were absolutely delicious, then I would have definitely put them in the breakfast pastry. However, I made them and they were tasty, they were good, they were okay, weren't magical. And what I usually do is I parboil my potatoes before putting them into the frying pan and making them. So I tried that, and again, good, okay, like I'm saving them, I'm not throwing them out, but not good enough for me to possibly experiment with this puff pastry. So now I'm making a second round of potatoes, and you can see in here, maybe you can, maybe you can't. Let's see how many things I'm going to knock over. Can you see them in there? Yeah, you can kind of see them in there. There's some butter, and I added some, after the onions, hang on a second, every time I do this, the fucking thing falls everywhere. Is that good? Are we good there? No, I'm good there. Somewhat good there. I should have never lifted it. Okay, and so, yeah, I'm remaking the potatoes. I'm using the onions. I put in like 2 small onions or 1 medium onion. No, it was 2 small ones. And then I added some of the peppers and onions that I got frozen from Walmart. I've got my normal sized potatoes parboiling. They're on the burner now. I'm going to fry up some of these to get them to where they're soft. I also want to state out loud, because I could pretend I didn't and you guys would never know, right? I mean, the only reason you guys know I smoke is because I do it. All right. So, yeah. I made too much, I cut up too much potatoes. And so if I have to either keep them in home fry format and eat them later, glad to do it. I love my home fries. I like them very well. It's good that I can cook and enjoy myself. Be weird if I cooked stuff that other people like, but I didn't. But that's not the case. So anyway, or I'm going to put some aside to make into mashed potatoes. Haven't decided yet. Not really germane to this video that we're making, but shit comes out of my head. So right now, I've got the water boiling. I'm about to fry up some onions and peppers for the second time. In fact, I'm going to turn on my electric skillet right now to 300, and we'll get rolling on that. And then I'm going to make the eggs, and I'm going to cut up the sausages real small, and we're going to make those and see how it happens. And then we'll get to the puff pastry part. So I'm not going to make you guys sit around while I fry onions. I did last time. It went a little long, you know. I mean, I think I softened my onions and peppers very well, but perhaps other of you have other priorities that you need to take care of. Also, I will point out, I'm in Ithaca, New York. It is Saturday, January 24th, and it is snowing like gangbusters outside. They say that we're going to have at least a foot of snow. I don't know if that's true, but it certainly looks like it could be. Yeah, that's it. And I see this thing on the top of my head. It looks like a little shark fin or something. I can't get it to go away. I just recently had a haircut, and I guess stuff is growing back, and I do have a cowlick here, but usually it doesn't. Anyway, it's starting to sizzle, so I'm going to go attend to it, and then I'll come back when I'm making home fries, all right? All right, ta-right. Okay, be back. Don't press stop, press pause, don't press stop, press pause. Okay, so the potatoes are parboiled, and I'm now going to be frying them up. You can see maybe in here, maybe in here, maybe you can see, yes. So I'm about to fry them up, and then I will season them. Just 1 second. This frickin', what is it called? This tripod, anything bad that can happen to it, it's bad. It doesn't stick where I put it, it falls over. Okay, good, and good. Okay, so I'm going to turn these on and fry them up. Then we're going to make some egg and sausages. I'm going to cut the sausages real small. And yeah, so it's exciting. So I'm now frying up the potatoes I parboiled. And I'm going to put the seasoning, again, salt, minced onion, garlic powder, pepper, and paprika. Not going to add the paprika to the end, though. Okay? And I will see you guys in just a bit. Sorry, also onion powder went in there. So garlic powder, onion powder, minced onion, salt, pepper, and paprika. Okay, just wanted to give it all in one piece in case you were taking notes or something. Okay, the potatoes are excellent, ready to go. My next step was going to be to chop up the sausage, cook it and chop it. But I think what I'm going to do, it's going to make a lot of dishes, is I am going to make some more of the sausage and onion mix. The onions and pepper mix, because I think those would go nice in the egg. Yeah, so I'm going to do that, then I'm going to do the sausage. Yeah, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm frying up the extra peppers and onions. They were a little bit big for me, so I actually chopped them up on a chopping board and added some oil. Just 1 second, where am I here? Okay, 300. And then we're going to make the sausages and then finally the egg. Then after that's done, we're going to get out the puff pastry and do all that. And by that time, it'll be 11 o'clock at night. And by that time, if I try it, I'll probably be like, it's okay. It's not fantastic. It's just okay. And I'll feel bad that I did all this work. And then I'll still put up this video because I have no content and no one's paying any attention to me. So maybe the search words will be fine. But it's okay. It's all right. It's not like I have anything else to do. It's just, you know, snowing outside and I'm repeatedly making onions and peppers and trying to, you know, make some decent food. Yeah, and you know, just so you guys know, like the whole thing about me learning how to cook again is, you know, my wife Jeanette, before she passed away, you know, she used to do all the cooking for me. I mean, she was fantastic, but also she was in a position that she could not go and work. We had twins. Actually, we had triplets, but one of them lived in a group home. But we had an autistic child that really required someone adult to be there 24 hours a day. Our other daughter, Kirsten, who I love very much, you know, she was working and taking care of her own stuff. And so Jeanette was just not physically. She had a lot of problems with her knees and, yeah, with her knees, just a lot of early arthritis problems, probably from staying up all night before she had me in the picture. She was trying to raise two children who were autistic, one who was very violent, and it got to be very, very difficult. And then you know, so she stayed home. She tried to make her contribution by making sure I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I wasn't a big breakfast eater. Like, I didn't really trouble. Most of the time, she just made something for dinner for me. Towards the end of her life, it was really just like maybe a couple grilled cheese sandwiches and some soup occasionally. Same type of soup I like to make, the cheddar broccoli soup. When I had my gastric bypass operation, I got to a point where I just couldn't feed myself. I threw up every time I ate, and I was down to 140 pounds, which I never got to again, except right after Jeanette and Rachel died. I guess just my system wasn't really into holding on to food. But anyway, she actually saved my life, because when I moved in with her and I was 140 pounds, you know, that was really unhealthy for a 6-foot guy to be. And she made me a bunch of different foods. Then she settled on, because I could eat lots of it, the cheddar broccoli soup, because she could put so much fat into it, the same way I do, so much fat into it, that it would literally be a calorie bomb. She'd make me a huge pot of it, and I'm telling you, I would eat that huge pot breakfast, lunch, and dinner over 2 days, and it was gone. So it was one of the things I wanted to learn how to make myself. But I used to cook as a line cook, but I never really got into making stuff for myself besides eggs, grilled cheese sandwiches, just really easy stuff. And I didn't want to lose that in my life, and I don't want to have someone else that I need to depend on for cooking for the rest of my life. But the way I feel now is I have no intention of ever being in partnership romantically with another person, and or relying on them to anyone else to feed me. They're gone. They died in the fire, and I miss the hell out of them. But God left me here and alone, and I got to try and take care of myself and my remaining daughter. I wish I could do better. She's in Canada. I'm in the United States right now. I had a real mental crisis, a breakdown after Jeanette and Rachel died. It was a horrible way for them to die, and I loved them so much. And I just couldn't take it, So I had a real mental breakdown, and I was so broken down that I got approved for Social Security disability on the first go. And that was for mental but also physical reasons. I got really run down, and still really run down, but it's getting better, I guess. And I'm still having a mental illness crisis. But anyway, so I'm not in Canada basically because although they have a form of disability there that's exactly about the same amount as I get now, which is about $900, they do not have anything like food stamps, to my knowledge. And that is very difficult. Without my food stamps, I wouldn't be able to survive on $900. The only reason I'm able to survive and pay rent is because I got a grant to live in this place, and that was for a year. And then while I was here doing that, I was working on, and I succeeded in getting into this very few rare places in this city that I was living in, Ithaca, that will, instead of charging you a flat amount for rent, they basically charge you whatever 1/3 of your income is. So if God forbid something happens and my income goes down to $100 a month, then I pay $30. If it goes up to $3,000 a month, it goes to $1,000. But I can always kind of afford 1/3 of my income. So it's very, very fair. And that's the place I'm moving into now. Okay, so these are done. I'm just going to get somewhere to put them. We're going to chop up some sausages that are currently frozen and get them in here cooked. And I really need to chop them up. And then, we'll make the eggs. And then we'll put in the puff pastry. I'm trying to think, because usually with bacon, egg, and cheese, sausage, I would like some ketchup in there. But I really don't think that that's going to be an effective way for me to put ketchup in there. It'll make the whole thing come out disgusting. So I'm not going to do that. We'll figure something out. Okay, I'm going to go get the sausages out, and I'll be right back. All right. So I actually found a box of sausage that wasn't open and that contained kind of the put together too. They had some of the sausage links, as well as I bought one that had small patties on it. So I'm just going to fry these up. And then I'm going to chop them up, make some eggs, possibly even eat a small breakfast. I've been doing this for hours now. And then get the stuff out for the puff pastry, take a swing at it, and see what happens. Why is this not going on? There we go. All right. I don't know. Do you guys want to hang out while I do this? Probably not. Probably not. Okay. So I'm going to cook these up, and then we'll be back. I guess you'll just see me start making eggs and then finish making eggs, and then I'll put it on the whole time I'm doing the puff pastry, because that's the exciting part. That's the interesting part. You guys have already made peppers and onions. You guys have already made sausage. You've made potatoes for breakfast. What you maybe haven't done is made puff pastries with that breakfast. And that's the reason you're clicking on this video. It's the reason I'm here. It's the reason you're here. It's the reason my good friend Harvey, who you can't see, is here. So I'm going to get frying these up and we'll be back. All right. Okay, almost at the end now. So I washed the pan again after making, I guess, the sausage and the peppers. I think I've washed it 5 times today, the skillet. After the first time I made potatoes and decided to redo them, 1. After I did the potatoes again, 2. After I cooked up the sausages, 3. And then the pepper and onions, I washed that out, 2. Yeah, so that's 4 times. This will make one more. Okay, so what I've got is I've got some scrambled eggs ready to go. In them is just some salt, some pepper, some half and half. Yeah, that's it. And some cheese. Sorry, some Fiesta blend cheese, because I like having cheesy eggs. And I also realize there's going to be more cheese that goes into the pastry. I also set aside an egg in a bowl because the pastry needs to have an egg wash in it. So now I'm just going to scramble up these eggs. I'm going to add the salt and the peppers and onions to them. And then there's nothing left to do, baby, but to make the, to actually get to the puff pastry part of this. All right, so I've got some margarine in there. And I've got my little thing here. And I'm just going to wait for the margarine to melt a little bit and drink this baked Coca-Cola, Walmart Coca-Cola. Currently, I would say about 98% of the foods here right now are great value, Walmart brand. And I will tell you, it is because they're inexpensive. It's also because they go to major name brands to produce their great value. So let's say if the Fiesta blend, the great value, let's say that Kraft also makes that for themselves that they stock in Walmart, but then Walmart pays them to put their packaging on the same product for a certain amount of time, and I found that's almost universal. So I have not run into a great value product that is so poor that I wouldn't buy it again. They've all been excellent. And they are substantially cheaper than the brand name products that I would use to replace them with. All right, so there is now melted margarine all over the inside of the skillet. I'm going to put the eggs in. Now, I think I did 4 or 5 because I usually make about 3 for myself, sometimes even 2, but 3. And yeah, and the thing is, I'm going to probably want to eat some eggs anyway, but then to have enough to make the puff pastry, it's not a big deal. I have had much success in acquiring eggs even when I couldn't afford them, yeah. And right now I've got an extra dozen in there, so no biggie there. I'm not liking these didn't look, hang on. These didn't look like they scrambled enough the way I would want them. There are these spaces that are going to turn into white areas, almost bubbles, and I don't know why I'm having so many of these. I whisk them or mix them, beat them, the same way I always do. All right, well, it's coming together. We'll know in a second. I should get a plate ready for when these are ready to come out. Okay, that's right there. Oh God, I'm snorting again, sniffing again. I hate that. I'm so sorry. I've had a runny nose since I had my gastric bypass operation. Weird side effect. I've read about it happening in other people. I've gone to a doctor and asked him to essentially burn off that snot gland or whatever it is in my nose. I haven't wanted to do it, but it is a real issue. It's also hard to get to know people when you're constantly walking around with a snotty rag. All right, this is starting to come together. I'm going to try and leave them a little looser than I normally do because they're certainly going to cook more when I have them in with the puff pastry. But not so loose that I can't grab some and try them. This is a lot of eggs. This is a lot of eggs. Oop, hang on. Big white piece there. I hate the white pieces. Get rid of it. Big white piece there. Lost track of it. There's one. Right there. Get rid of that. I don't know why, but the big white pieces skeeve me. I've met other people like that. I know it's literally part of the same egg, but it just freaks me out. I don't like it. And I've actually made just egg yolk omelets before, and they're good. They're all right, but they are missing something. All right, this is already dry enough. I'm going to turn it off. Good. And now I'm just going to scoop them right into this plate. And hopefully that'll be the last time I have... Oh, crap. You know what I didn't do? I didn't put the peppers and onions in them. Oh, well. Oh, well. All right. Well, we can add them in if we really want to. There, big piece of white there, Oigevalt. I know, I'm neurotic. What can I tell you? As my cousin Shelley says, I like things the way I like them, and I'm very particular. Often I won't make something if I can't have it the way that I like it. I won't make eggs if I can't have cheese in them. I won't eat a hamburger if I can't put cheese on it. And I'm very specific. I won't eat most Mexican food unless I have sour cream and cheese on it. So I guess I am very particular. But, you know, I can't eat much with my weight loss surgery. Even 20 years later, I can't eat much. And so I try and make what I can eat the way that I like it, I guess. You know what I mean? There's no point in eating food that you're not going to enjoy. And I get to enjoy so much little of it compared to the amount that I enjoyed it the last time in an unhealthy amount, obviously, because I was over 400 pounds, but I really don't get to enjoy food because I'm usually focused on making sure that I got enough protein in, that I'm getting enough carbs and fat, that, you know, I have such little, I'm able to take in so little that I have to be very particular about making sure that I'm getting enough to keep me alive. Okay. I'm going to go wash this off this off, the eggs in the pan one more time, put them away, and then we will get going on the magical mystery puff pastry adventure. Okay, I'll be back in just a bit. Let me pause you and not turn you off. Okay, all the prep work is done. I've washed that skillet for the 5th time. I've got my puff pastry out. I've got my eggs, home fries, sausage crumbles, and peppers and onions, some cheese to put on it. Now I really need to think about how we're going to lay this out. Hang on just 1 second. There we go. Alright. I just put a little bit of a dish towel, a clean dish towel, actually a brand new dish towel, under the tray so that it doesn't slide around as I'm working with it. Alright, so let me open this puff pastry. Might as well be you guys watching it since kind of ostensibly you're here to see me do the puff pastry and not complain about my life. Alright, I've sprayed this down with some olive oil in spray form, so it shouldn't need, and it hasn't yet needed, hasn't needed parchment paper yet. I'm hoping we're still that way. So, here we go. Okay, to start out with, I think we're going to make a cut here. Alright, so let's put some stuff down on this and see how much space we need and how large they should be. Okay, so I'm going to start out here. I'm going to put down some eggs. A little bit of home fries, just a little bit. A little bit of sausage, let's say, and just a tiny bit of peppers and onions. Okay, now, how much space do I need? Okay, that's good for that. Okay, I think we're going to do something along these lines. I just need to make sure that I'm conscious, because now that I've got it ripped off, each one, yeah, see, there's some extra here that I really should be taking advantage of. So I'm going to make the next one smaller. It's going to be fine. It's just going to be more puff pastry, but... So we're going to do this smaller one. Let's see how this works. A little bit of egg. A little bit of sausage. A little bit of home fries. A little bit more. I don't want these to have like, oh, shit. Shit. You know what I didn't do on this one? It's too late. I didn't put any cheese in. Okay. Alright. And here I will put some cheese in. See, now I've put down too much, I think. So, since I had too much in this, and didn't add cheese, and not enough in this, let's see if I can... Sorry, I'm just experimenting with the size. It's something I didn't really think of until I have it visually in front of me. What we're going to do with this one is just put a top on it versus trying to roll it up. Maybe should have cut a bigger piece for that. Yep, too small. Alright, as a band-aid, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the extra off this. I'm going to see. Put some over this. Put some over this. Over this, let me see if I can just tamp this down. Okay. So we've got two that are relatively the same size. And I've got this piece here. And I have to, even though it's going to be too small, I'm going to have to find something to do with it because I left. Yeah, okay. So maybe now with this, what I will do is cut it in half intentionally, knowing. So let me see with this one. A little bit of scrambled eggs. A little bit of sausage. Yeah, I need to make these bigger next time. I need to be able to put substantial amounts. These are like little appetizer tasties, not real. And a little bit of onion and pepper. Then I'm going to take this piece and put it over it. I ended up with the ravioli looking thing I'm trying to go for here. Okay? Okay. Okay. Alright. I'm really going to try a bunch of different sizes just to make sure that I've got this sort of in a way so that if it's fantastic and I need to reproduce it, I will have in my head the size I need to be working with. So let's do this again, a little bit more here. A little bit of egg going the length because I'm going to put a top one over it. right? Yep. A little bit of sausage right there. A little bit of potatoes. Tiny bit of peppers. And some cheese. And we'll take this piece. Shit. I am terrible at stuff like this, I'll tell you. I need to practice with this more. There. And let's see if I can just take a little piece off this end to seal it up. Oh, I should turn my oven on too. So we're going to do start. Sorry. We're going to do bake 400 degrees. Start. Okay. Okay. That's that one there. I really should be making these in a more orderly fashion too. All right, you live and you learn, you live and you learn. Okay. We're only going to make one more big one anyway, so let us see what we can do. Yeah, well, this is coming out really experimental because I'm totally fucking it up. That's okay. That's what it's going to look great after after they come out. But I feel like I could have had more pastries if I had sort of gotten down the sizing. Ooh, that's a bad noise. Alright, I think that's all the ones we're going to have space for. I've got one little tiny piece of dough. Gonna have to be minuscule. See if I can move this over a little bit. Yeah, okay. Move this over a little bit. Okay, don't want to touch with it too much. Okay, well, we'll give it a shot. So, guess what we're gonna have to do. Oh man, am I fucking up the sizing on this? Okay, lesson learned. At least I'll figure out what works good and what doesn't. See, I don't just show you the amazing things that that work out. I show you the tough ones, the agony of defeat. It's all a learning process for me. All a learning process. Okay, they look like shit. They look like shit. Let's just say it together. They look like shit. Okay, that happens, right? So it doesn't matter. As soon as my oven heats up, 400 degrees, going to put them in for 15 minutes, going to take them out. I'm sure they'll taste great. Oh, and what I didn't do, I need to do an egg wash. So let's do that. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Crack an egg in there. Right on. Scramble it. Whisk it if you want to be fancy. Mix it. Okay. I've noticed that sometimes people use butter, and that's great, but I've noticed when they use egg, that's really when it comes out golden brown. I mean, honestly, I would prefer everything to be in butter because I like butter better than egg. All my favorite pastries have butter in them, but I also want these to look good and taste good, but also look good. All right, so some more over there. This one looks absolutely like hammered shit. It looks like it spent the night out partying with hookers and doing very expensive blow. Actually bad blow, but that was still very expensive. And it's waking up and it has to go to work. And so it's just there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, everything has been egg washed. Good. I will next be back after they come out of the oven or just before that. Go get yourself a cup of coffee. Doesn't matter. You can put me on hold anytime you want. On pause. All right, be back, be back, be back. Brrr, bing. Okay, they spent 16 minutes in the oven at 400. They are golden, flaky brown. They look fantastic. Even with the ones that I fucked up, they all are covered. They all look good. And so I'm going to taste them right now. I'm going to wait for this to cool off because I don't want to burn myself on the camera, which I've done like 3 times already. So I'm going to cut this open and then, hang on, you guys don't need to go. Ooh, a little bit hot. Little bit hot. A little bit hot. Looks great. Yeah, I'm going to give it a minute or two to cool down. I'll be right back. All right. I've given it a few minutes. Let's give it a try. It's certainly not bad. It could use a bit more seasoning. Maybe if I put some hot sauce in with it in the mix in general, but it's quite good. I have another roll of puff pastry, and I could try it again with more, but honestly, this took like, for a thing that I usually make for breakfast 3 times a week or twice a week, and that somehow takes me an hour. I've been 5 hours working on this to stick it into a puff pastry and then bake it for 15 minutes. I have washed my electric skillet 5 times. I don't remember that I had to wash my pan that often, but then again, I usually don't make them so separately. Like I've got the sausage over here, I've got the egg, I got enough breakfast stuff to eat breakfast for the rest of the day, and I've got this puff pastry. Yeah, definitely could have used a little bit more seasoning, but the texture is amazing. It's flaky as heck. I don't know if you can see that, but it's very flaky and wonderful, and all the stuff's good. And the places that I messed up, they frankly don't look messed up. So that's a big save for me. And yeah, so good experiment. Does taste good if you're going to make it at home. Definitely add some hot sauce to something, maybe the peppers and onions, just somewhere along the line, or something, if you don't like hot sauce, that's going to bring up the taste, and necessarily isn't salt, because I think it's got enough salt in it, but I don't know, you could try it yourself. Definitely worth eating, worth 6 hours of my time. I need the content for my YouTube page. That's it. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. Have a great day. I'm sorry that once again I couldn't get a video done in under 15 minutes. We're heading towards 40 minutes at this point. But thanks for sticking in. Like, subscribe, comment, tell me what an asshole I am. Whatever. Just do something. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.